Hello, good evening. Twin Minds here. We are back at Farming Simulator 19 for reasons. That's all I got. I wanna. I've been obviously playing the hell out of this game lately, so I figured why the hell not. Let me check a thing. It looks like Mixer might be having issues. Hold on a second here. Might be just Mixer. Let me refresh, yeah. Mixer, don't be dumb. But yeah, it is cold here today. For those of you who don't know, I am in Minnesota, and there is a cold front coming through. It is currently minus 5 degrees Fahrenheit, and that would translate to minus 20 degrees for the rest of the world. So it is a little bit chilly, and that does not include the wind chill. And for those of you in warmer climates, wind chill means it feels colder than it actually is. Wind chill is down to about minus 20, which puts it at close to minus 30 Celsius. At which point you start getting cold enough on both of the scales that they start merging and it stops mattering because it's just too fucking cold. So yeah, I'd rather not go outside at all, if at all possible. But I do have to go into work tomorrow. It's supposed to be still kind of cold. But alas, that is the price I pay for living in a state where the air tries to kill me. So let's see, I need to join. Yes, there we go. I do not know if my helper is going to be joining me tonight. I did not warn her ahead of time that I'd be playing. And, yeah, totally up to her if she's going to show. I don't expect her to be here all the time. In the meantime, I have in-game helpers I can work with. We also are working on processes to allow other people to join in. That does require people being active and regulars in chat and all that. So feel free to hit me up in Discord if you want to be playing this with me. So let's see. Last we were here, we bought plot 21, which is why it's ever so slightly green numbered there. Which did give us some trees to cut down, which was fun last time. And since then, I have been playing a little bit more, because why the hell not? And I have planted. I finished the cleanup process, and I have planted both of them. Both of them have been fertilized twice now, I believe. 15's been weeded, which means 21's probably going to get their weeds fairly shortly here. A hi, cat. Yeah. Yep. Speaking of the devil, 21 weeds. So I'm going to have to do that like right now. But we've been doing canola up until this point. This is now wheat. This is preparation for chickens. So let's get up to our farm here. Our other vehicles and whatnot. Actually, I do want to finish this process first. I was in the middle of doing a contract with my own harvester. So before we tackle the weeds, let's tackle this situation. Relatively small plot, number 3 up north. I did make a grave mistake. And that grave mistake is I took a contract to mow and bale number 1. The biggest challenge with that, mowing and baling isn't actually that big of a deal, and I kind of enjoy it. The biggest challenge with that, though, is that number 1 is all the way up here. The spot where you need to go sell, all the way down here. And all of your equipment is over here that you end up renting. So it's a hell of a trek, because with mowing, you've got 4 steps. You've got to mow, then you've got to do the tedder, then you've got to do the windrow, then you've got to do the baling. So that's 4 steps right there, and then the 5th step is transporting. So with each of those steps, you have to transport your equipment from here to there, and then back again. Or you don't have to do back, they'll just take it back. So here to here, So back and forth, 4 or 5 trips, plus, since it's a big enough field, it was 3 trips worth of hay bales. So it was back and forth this way 3 more times. It was a mistake. It was not worth it. It was not worth the time. It was not worth anything. I did get about 7 grand out of the deal, but still, I can do a single fertilizer job in 10 minutes for 7 grand. Like, this thing took me like 4 hours. It's stupid. So, never again will I ever take a mowing contract up here. If I'm going to take a mowing contract, it's probably going to be down here, just because it's close, which also brings up the point of if I'm going to do any other baling for my own personal needs, it's going to be down here, because it's close. Which is why this is wheat, because when it comes time to harvesting that wheat, I'm going to want to bale a straw that comes out of it, and either keep it for, I don't know, I think the horses need it, or sell it right here. So it'll be very close to sell. That'll be nice. So let's... Sure, I'm in this vehicle. Why not? I also found out that these things can handle really steep grades without all that much problem. Going down. Going up's a whole different problem. So we're going to go this way. This actually isn't that steep now that I look at it. Alright, where are we? We are... Yeah. So I do like the fact that you can do a full screen, or a full mini-map, rather than just a partial. That's actually quite handy. So I'm just going to go ahead and weed this quick, just because. Swear to God, loudest bird in existence. Now I do have the option of just throwing a worker on this, but my weeder's wide enough that it's not really going to take all that much time. So we'll just do some of that right now. I did do another thing. I'm missing some weeds. Yeah, it'll be fine. I did do another thing. It's hard to see, but I'm going to get out and go look. Boop. I planted trees. I planted trees. This is a thing that you can do apparently without needing to till the land. So once I realized that, I went and bought myself a tree planter, because I figured this is going to be a regular occurrence. I'm not going to just lease it. Bought myself a tree planter, nice little piece of equipment here, and it just plants trees in a straight line wherever you happen to be walking. I'm not even entirely sure you need to own the land, but I figured I want to cut them down, so I might as well put them on my land. So yeah, I planted trees. You get 20 trees per pallet, and with the rate that it planted them, which is fairly far apart, you can see here, I could get 10 per side. So I've got 10 over here, and I've got 10 on that side of the field. Hey, Nabara-chan, how you doing? I got trees. They're itty-bitty trees right now, but I got trees. These are some sort of evergreen. Hard to tell right now, but when they start growing up, they'll be pretty obvious that they are an evergreen similar to those. So they're long, straight, nice to cut down and have long, straight pieces of wood. Hey, Sebastian Toasty, how you doing? Watching Farming to Chillax, I wholeheartedly agree to that. Princess Toasty as well. Howdy. Now eventually I do want to buy this plot, just because it's there, and that one. Just because it'd be nice to have all 3 of these plots in a row. But that is going to require some cash. Obviously, because buying things requires money. This has been another important lesson on economics with Twin. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and put a worker on this because I can't see these straight rows, and they're a hell of a lot better doing straight than I am. So I'm going to go back over here and do this grain transportation. Where the hell am I going with this? I am going over here, so I need to take a left. You have Twitch, YouTube, and your tablet with you. All right, so you're gonna be double watching. Yes, Demos, I noticed that. I don't know why, but yeah, Mixer started crapping out at me like the moment the stream started. So let me actually check on that while we wait here. Let's see. I need to. We'll cut across the dam. So I'll go the long way here because otherwise, I'm going to be having to cross this mess. So I'll go the long way. I guess it might even be the short way for all I know. Oh, so Mixer's like dead, well beyond my capabilities to fix it. Good to know. I think I have to. Yeah, I have to cut right here. Yay, Farming Simulator Twin Mines Edition 2029? Oh, damn, I'm 10 years ahead of my time. I've been playing Factorio for a long-ass time, dude, but it's only on Fridays. And not even going to be tomorrow, actually. We've been doing it for at least 6 months, if not more. We already went through an entire playthrough of vanilla, and now we're playing heavily modded, which, according to how fast it's going, we're expecting it to take at least a couple of years, since we're only doing it on Fridays. But tomorrow, since we're also getting ever so slightly burnt out of it, and we want a little bit of a change up, tomorrow we're going to be playing Borderlands 2, because we had some requests for a little bit more action on the stream on Fridays. We're going across the dam. It's pretty. I know, it'll be the first time I've ever streamed an FPS. No, I take that back. I did stream, well, I guess Fallout 4 doesn't really... It's Fallout 4 is an FPS, but not, like, in the traditional sense. It's an FPS RPG. But yes. I will have to check with the guys. I'll have to check with the guys on how serious they want to take it. Because if they want to take it serious and they actually want to progress, then I can't drink too much. Ooh, this little tractor's struggling to get this thing up the hill. Well, I appreciate you sticking around, Toasty. Alright, so this should complete the contract and then some. Yep, so I got an extra $1,600 off of that. And completing the contract is also $3,300. Perfect. We got a whole bunch of fertilizing jobs to do. That looks like a thing I need to do. Fertilizing jobs are quick and easy. And they are cheap. Cheap for me to do, expensive for them to give me cash. So I need to adjust, let's see, 14. Where the hell is 14? 14's here. 15, 16, 17. Okay. So 14 needs doing, 17 needs doing. 13's a big one. Big-ish. It's here. Howdy, White. Welcome. Mm-hmm. 12 needs doing as well, so 13 and 12 is good. 5 is also... 5 is good to do. Okay. So, that's a thing. Let me go get my fertilizer then. Because I need to spread the poo. Alright, so I'm here. We'll go this way. It's not really poo, though. It's the chemical stuff, because that's all I've got on me. With how much I love doing fertilizing jobs, it's definitely going to be worthwhile to jump into cows or pigs to get that manure. The only challenge with doing animals is that you've got to do crop investment just to keep them going. So then you stop getting as much cash off your crops. So it's a trade-off, and I haven't seen any numbers yet on how effective that trade-off is. Like, I know horses, for example, have a pretty significant payout at the end. They're $50,000 per horse, but it requires 10 days worth of manual labor to train them. It requires 10 days worth of oats and is either hay or straw or both, I don't recall. Plus a $5,000 investment to buy the horse before you train it. So I don't honestly know how much that is in actual profit by the time you're done with it. Yep, twins crazy driving. That's how I do. Good to hear you can multitask, Sebastian. I multitask like mad. Alright, so I've only got 2,100 fertilizer left. I think I'm going to buy a bunch and then head to the first one and start doing. Whoa, whoa. Not being able to see through the trees is challenging at times. Am I still on slow speed? Yeah, okay. Slow speed means that I can actually catch all of the fertilizer jobs, or at least most of them. Oh, I'm terrible at driving in cabin mode, though. It's quieter, though. But with all, you can see all the movements on the steering wheel, so you can see very clearly that I do not have a mouse or even a controller. Or not a mouse, a wheel or a controller. So I'm having to do a lot of like small corrections with the keyboard since there's no analog. Howdy, King Erickson. Yes, indeed, there is a cabin mode. It's very realistic. Like right on the side there, you can see the LCD display, and you can see that it's actually got numbers on it. It's hard to read it from here, but it shows you your speed. It shows you the engine, the actual engine output. All that information. It tells you how long you've driven it, that kind of stuff. So it's very detailed. It feels much more like GTA 5 driving, honestly. Okay, so I need to buy some fertilizer bags. Let's see, I'm going to go with 5 or 6. That'll do for now. Oh, relatively no rules. There is a train that goes through, and there are cars that you do have to avoid, otherwise you'll tip yourself. But you don't have to obey speed rules, you don't have to obey stop signs, no nothing like that. There's no cops to get on your butt. Alright, so we are currently refueling. Or refilling, not refueling, this isn't fuel. Demos, you are not far off, honestly. The wheel going all over the damn place. Alright, so this puts us at about half full on fertilizer. I have bought a lot of fertilizer, but with all the jobs that I'm expecting to do, it should be well worth the investment. God damn it, train. Alright, I'm going to take the time then to turn on the music. I can't use the in-game music. There is in-game music, but it did flag a copyright claim on the first video. So we're going to use Pretzel, which is known copyright free. Whoa! And this is exactly why I drive in visible mode. Because I get my ass stuck on shit. I hit the railroad crossing sign, which is bad because if I don't fix this in some time in the near future, I'm gonna get stuck. Alright, only solution to this? No, it's not a purple mailbox. It's the weight on the front. I just happen to paint it purple. The only solution to this is ramming speed. God damn it. Get out of my way, pedestrians. Shut up. I'm working on it. Shut up. Working on it. Leave me alone. Alright, fixed it. I do generally. I mean, I try my damnedest to stay within the lines. I don't do speed limits, especially because it's hard to even see what the speed limit posted is half the time. But, yeah. However, there's also a lot of off-roading in this, so there's only so much I can stick to the rules. Alright. So, 13 contract. Oh, man. That one had the awesome vehicle. I should have paid attention to that. Do we have another one with that? No, just a bunch of basics. This trailer is actually not that bad. It's got a huge arm swing. It's just really hard to navigate. The trailer that the vehicle that I really wanted to drive, and I'm eventually going to buy one just because it's so amazing, is this thing. It is just this big, honking, massive thing that you drive, and it's just got a massive wingspan. It's almost a 50-meter wingspan. It's just insane. It's also $500,000, so, you know, awesome. But I'll get there eventually. Alright, time to spread my seed. No, wait. Time to fertilize. Now this is typically where I would actually hire a worker. Do I have other things to do? I do have my worker on the weeds, now that I have to remember. And the worker apparently is done with the weeds. Yes? Oh, they missed us. Oh, I missed a section. That was me. That's what that pink is right there. So we're good. There's a little bit missed up here, but I couldn't do much about that. The name of the game? Farming Simulator. Specifically Farming Simulator 19. Oh man, I'm gonna have to hire a worker. All that green, if we take a look out here, the only way that you can see where you've been is the ever so slightly darker dirt versus the lighter dirt. And with all this green, you can't see where you've been. So I'm gonna have to hire a worker. Because the workers magically know where they've been. And they know how wide to go. So I'm going to start this worker right here. And go. Go. Do your thing, buddy. Go have fun. Meanwhile, I'm going to drive my harvester back. I actually need to take it in for take it into the shop for a little bit of a fix. It's got a quarter of the way down for repairs needed, and it also only has a quarter of a tank of gas left, so I'm gonna have to refuel it. Hey, mixer works again! Hooray! I don't know if it's is it like fully accepting my stream and all that. I wasn't sure if I'd have to restart it or something. Cattle and crops. I do appreciate alliteration. I would have also accepted tilling and taters. Alright, this is going to be a hell of a drive. This takes a while. We're going to turn off all of our assistants, and I'm going to see if I can remember my way to there. There we go. Nice and quiet. Oh, I am reminded. I'm currently on, I think it's the Chill channel on Pretzel. But Pretzel just released their Synthwave channel. So I think I want to switch to that, because I've been kind of looking forward to that. Although this song's kind of good. I'll wait until the song's over. Oh. Are you talking about Cattle and Crops being the actual name of a game? Never heard of it. Is it a mobile game or PC? Or was that a farming pun because of bugs? I may or may not be a little bit slow on the uptake on that one. One day I'll get a better harvester. One day. Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of attempts at farming games, but very few of them are engaging, yet alone complete or not broken. I know that there's one called Farming Together, or something like that. I kind of want to try it out. It seems okay, but it is definitely multiplayer focused. Obviously you've got the Stardew, and then you've got all of the various attempts to replicate it, or in the same genre. Alright, Toasty, you have yourself a good night. Thanks for stopping by. So the reason I know this route so well is that this is the route I had to take about 10 times with the mowing that I mentioned earlier. So I know this route far too well. Notice I do not have my mini-map up. I did turn that off. Uh-oh. Nabara-chan's got a butt. Ooh, Farmville with better graphics feel. Ooh. Farmville is... I would like to say that Farmville is the beginning of the end. It was amusing while it lasted, but in all reality, Farmville was one of the first, like, true mobile-style games. It wasn't mobile, obviously, or at least it wasn't initially mobile. It was just a Facebook game, but it had all of the microtransaction and engagement methods of a mobile game before mobile games really got their name. So I really would hope they would not do that. Alright, so we need to repair it. 200 bucks, sure. If I sell it, 70,000 back. So that's not worth doing at the moment. But I would like to upgrade at some point or another. But to be fair, I only got it for 100 grand, so selling it back for 70 is not that bad of a deal. I do not know. So this one's slower and much lower volume. So I think we'd have to move up even more. This is probably one where I could have chosen either of these and been perfectly fine with them. The John Deere is probably good. I don't think I want to do a small incremental upgrade either. I think I want to go something really big if I'm gonna get another one. So if I'm gonna get another one, it's probably gonna be one of these three at the end here. I don't know which one. They all appear to be very similar. Okay, so that's done. Customize? No, there's no customizing. Why even offer customizing if there's no customizing options? It's all off, there's no coloring, there's no nothing. Fine. Is it that one that's like town related? Where you've got crops and you have to like swipe your finger across to harvest all of the crops? I attempted to play a few games like that. They all did the mobile microtransaction nonsense way too quickly, so I stopped. Alright, so this one's repaired. Heyday. I think I know that one. I also need to refuel. Can I stop by and refuel without pulling in? I can. Contract on field 13 finished. Perfect. So let's pause ourselves here. It's a bit of a half-assed job, as you can see there, but the people paying the contract don't necessarily care. You need to stop because you've done your job. Next up, 13's done. Next up is, I think, 6 or 12. Looks like 12's ready to go. This is a great way to make cash in this game. All you have to do is buy the fertilizer, so there's a little bit of a buy-in, but it's typically not too bad. And with the fertilizer having such a wide spread on it, you don't need to worry about not being able to do it very quickly. It happens pretty quick. Every once in a while it's nice to grab one of the sprayers with a really wide arm. You can get them done even faster, but You still have to buy the fertilizer, and you have to pay for the equipment. So I already had the equipment, so we're fine. I'm going to go ahead and just set the harvester to work on this and continue on my merry way. Yes, and cheap labor. Cheap labor is always good. Alright, so we're repaired and we're refueled. Our harvester is ready to get back to our crop area. Ooh. Single new crop for $2. Yeah, that's definitely in the microtransaction method. I guess that one's more like, I'm thinking like Euro Truck Simulator, that kind of thing, where you get the base game for X amount, and then you have to pay for, you know, each brand of trucks that you're going to put into the game or whatever. I believe Farming Simulator 17 was like that to a point as well, so we'll see how much they do occasional updates that cost money. But for right now, they are also putting out free mods, which add more vehicles into the game as well. So it's not something that you necessarily have to pay extra for. And in 19, what I find really fascinating that they did was a lot of the DLC that was paid DLC in 17, they put as part of the base game in 19. So the cotton technology, the sugarcane technology, the extra maps, those were all paid DLC in 17. And they're just part of the base game. And I really applaud them for that. A lot of companies, especially like EA, as you mentioned, King Eric's, absolutely, EA would have monetized the shit out of that. They would have removed features from the game specifically to sell them back to you, which they did in Sims 4. So yeah, I applaud. I think they're Giants something or another. I really should know the publisher or the developer of this game. Giants something or another is all I'm going to get for right now. But yeah, no, I applaud them for that, because most companies would not have done that. They would have either removed additional features to sell later, or they would have at the very least kept them out and resold them back as DLC later. So I bravo to them for that. So we've got 12 in progress. Let me take stock of my own fields here. Fertilized and mostly weeded. Fertilized and mostly weeded. I'm actually going to go get that strip because my weeder is down here. And because why not? I wouldn't go that far, Eric's. Two entirely different situations on those things. What you talking about? What you talking about, Nabartran? Were you questioning my rant about Sims 4? Whoopsies. Whoopsie doodles. Causing myself problems. Okay. Well, Demos, that's a whole separate problem. The Restream bot has not been working for Mixer for a long time now. At least a week and a half to 2 weeks. It's been very frustrating for me, and I can't get a response from Restream on that. I don't know why. It's working. Everyone can see Mixer's chat. Everyone can see each other's chat. Mixer just can't see everyone else's chat. So it's obnoxious. And in fact, I'm going to go bug him on Discord right now. Because I can. It sounds kind of like video game music to me, honestly. Like chill world exploration music, perhaps. But I'm going to switch over to the brand new, where are you, Synthwave channel. I'm curious to see what their take on Synthwave is. Okay, so the weeding is done, the vehicles did. I could potentially plant more trees, because I only have these here. Contract on 12 is done, so I need to stop them from spreading too much fertilizer that isn't necessary. Alright, so contract on 12 is done. We have 7 through 11 up here. Let's take a look at those contracts. Five needs a fertilizing. That wouldn't be too bad. That's 18 grand. And then 14 and 17 are in my territory. Yeah, let's do 5. Set the worker on that. Let's go this way. I don't think I've ever gone this way. Oh, that's a pretty little probably historic windmill. Oh yeah, no, EA is dead to me. They've been dead to me for quite some time. They have taken things way too far. Unfortunately, Activision is now on that list. And I'm pretty sure Bethesda may also make its way onto that list with how well that they've treated the whole Fallout situation. Ubisoft is getting there. Ubisoft hasn't gone too far off the rails just yet, so they're not quite on the list yet. It would be a sad day when they do make it onto the list, because I do enjoy some of their games. But more and more I've been playing indie games because of how completely off the rails some of these developers have gotten. Or publishers, not developers. Developers are usually gobbled up by the publishers and don't really have much say in the matter. Well, so that's the first baffling step, is that Bethesda, in all of their wisdom, decided that they needed to jump on the multiplayer bandwagon, when they have specialized in single-player experiences forever. They didn't have the server infrastructure ready to handle a multiplayer experience. So that's step number one. They failed from the inception of the game. But every single thing that they've done to handle it has been terrible. Every single thing that they have done to monetize it has been terrible. Elder Scrolls 6, I can't even speak about it because there's no information. They did like a 2-second teaser trailer and that's it. It's not even worth worrying about at the moment. And with how much flack they're getting over Fallout 76, oops, there's a fence there. There's no telling what's going to happen with Elder Scrolls 6. They may table it in favor of attempting to fix their Fallout 76. They may, push it out a couple years. It's already going to be at least 2 or 3 years to develop Elder Scrolls 6. It's not even worth thinking about, in all honesty. It's not even worth putting on the table right now. But yeah, with how poorly Bethesda has managed this whole thing, it's really hard to think, oops, I went all this way and I forgot my thing. I need to go back to get my thing. It's hard to think that they're gonna recover from this. I mean, unless they pull something magic out of their hat, they're not done by any means, but they're going to have a long road to go to get back the problems that they've caused. Yeah, but that's not going to happen. I mean, Eve Online has spent what a freaking decade now, if not longer, perfecting their server situation. And most multiplayer games don't go the route of EVE Online. They don't go the route of ever expanding server collection, everyone on one server. It's not something that most companies would ever do. It'd be great if more of them did, because it's a kind of a nice concept. But even with EVE, you get situations where you've got limitations on who can be in which region at a time. So, 2,000 players in any given system, for example. I don't remember what the details are, but there still are limitations on what it can handle. It just is a little bit more seamless because you don't normally get that many people in one area at a time. TES is the Elder Scrolls. It's the Elder Scrolls series. Stardew is still going to keep getting updated. One more update by Concerned Ape himself, and then he's turning over the updates to a team, which is the first time that's ever happened for Stardew. So more to come on that. It'll be fascinating to find out how well that's handled. Starfield, I know very little about. I know it's one of the things that's hyped. I'm looking forward to crap, what's it called? The one that's supposed to be coming, that's like a cross of Borderlands and I don't remember what it's a cross of even. It's the new kind of Borderlands Outer or something. Really excited for that. They've moved it up to 6K at one spot in EVE. That's impressive, actually. It used to be either 2,000 or 4,000. I don't remember for sure when I played. I did play EVE, but I can't stand the community. They're a bunch of degenerates. I am planting more trees, by the way, because I want more trees. It is currently in-game Friday, I believe. Yes, I planted my original trees on Friday, so I'd kind of like them all to grow up at the same time. So that'll be nice. Well, not only is it anarchy when there's... sorry, I was thinking anarchy when, in reference to how many players. But yes, EVE Online is anarchy. And I know that they designed the game specifically to allow players to do damn near anything they wanted within very, very slim limitations. But I know players. I have been around players. They're terrible people. When they're allowed to do whatever they want, they will do whatever they want, and to be damned with anyone else. So there is a very strong mentality of selfishness in that game, to the point where it's not really possible to enjoy yourself because you're constantly being hounded by someone. Oh yeah, lies, betrayal, blackmail, pretty much anything that anyone could legally get in trouble for in the real world, people absolutely love doing in EVE. Okay, so I think I'm going to maybe plant on the end here, perhaps? I'm going to pop out of this mode because I can't see. Let's start here. It's so hard to see, but they are going down. And I don't know if this is too close, but I've seen them planted this close before, and it seems to have worked, so... Oh no, and that's the worst part about it for me is that I loved Eve. I loved the game, and if you're in a good corporation, it's fun to play. But I just could not stomach the players for the most part. About 90% of them are terrible people. I couldn't stomach the players. I couldn't stomach the lawlessness. It's just not for me. But I loved the game to a point where there was a period where I was helping someone develop a private server and a private client for Eve because I wanted to play it that badly. Did I turn it off? Apparently I turned it off. Let's try that again. Alright, so we're going to have 2 rows of trees on either side of this field. 20 trees each. It'll be great. Now, these do take about 12 days to grow, so unless we crank the speed up full speed, we're not seeing this anytime soon. But I wanted to get them done. I wanted to get them growing. Alright. So that's done. How is my contract doing? About halfway. Unfortunately, this gets bugged sometimes, where it just sticks with needs plowing forever. So I can't see the progress of the fertilizing, which is very unfortunate. I used to be able to see the progress of the fertilizing. I was in a really small corporation, maybe 20 or 30 people. But I enjoyed it. We worked together. We did mining ops together. We, cooperated. We had our different ship specializations. We had a couple people who were focused on combat to clear out the asteroid belts. We had some people who were focused on mining and cargo operations. It was a nice group. It was a nice cooperative bunch of people. But in Eve, if you are a nice cooperative bunch of people, you are known as a Care Bear. And you are literally a target. You have a red target painted on your back for all pirates to come steal and harass you. At one point, I was blown up. And this was in the high-sec space, by the way, so they managed to trick me into opening up one of their cargo containers, which flagged me for a hostile action. They tricked me very well. I didn't know they were doing it until it was too late. And then once they got me down and destroyed my ship, they held all of my cargo hostage and said that they would spawn camp the area until I either paid up or walked away and let them keep the cargo. And that's just one of many shitty situations that has happened to me in that game, and why I can't do it. I refuse. Check on something here. Okay, anything else we need to do? At the moment, not really. I would like to get a majority of the fertilizing jobs done before I crank up the speed, because if I crank up the speed, those fertilizing jobs are going to disappear. I know 14 and 17 need to get done. It might even be the red ones are the ones that need to be fertilized. 11 and 10. Nope, 10's a plowing. 11's a fertilizing, okay. But this is why I like doing the fertilizing jobs, because they're relatively fast. I mean, if these are going to take, you know, 5-10 minutes or so, the other stuff is going to take 2 or 3 hours, something like that. A good harvesting job, even on a small plot. I did harvesting on plot 10. Which, no, I did 3. Sorry, 3. Relatively small, maybe twice the size of mine, and it took 2.5 hours, something like that. Okay, let's see. This job is still tempting, but it is big. It's field 8. It's the biggest field possible. And while these cotton harvesters are big, they're not that big compared to the field. So it would still take a very long time. You do get 2 of them though, so I could set a worker on it, but eh. Hightail, I don't know anything about it. Never heard of it. Field 9 baling is a hard pass. That's up here. It wouldn't be too terrible, but this is where you gotta drop the bales off. It'd be easily 4 runs to get the bales back and forth. But it is a nice looking profit. That's 10 grand for the baling, only 800 bucks to rent the equipment. And then I'd probably get about 2 or 3 grand extra out of the bales that I'd sell. So definitely something to consider, something worth doing. But I want to get the fertilizers out of the way first. We are 98% done with this though, so any moment now. Okay, all done. So field 5 is done. Next up, we've got 14 and 17, I think. Nah, 11's probably a good one to do next. 11's about the same size as 5, roughly. How are we on fertilizer? Ah, we got a little bit. Yeah. If it weren't so expensive to rent the equipment, I'd probably do it. Because this thing's got a lot wider arc. But yeah, it's a pretty good chunk of the profits to rent the equipment. I'd rather just do it myself. Yeah, I have a hard time buying into any game that's quote-unquote like Minecraft. Because I've played way too much friggin' Minecraft. Like I couldn't even finish another. Oh, right. I have to close my little thingies to cross this. This is a janky bridge, by the way. This is a really, really rickety, janky bridge. It's terrifying. It even creaks. Ghost dog! But yeah, I've already played way too much freaking Minecraft, so playing another game like it just wouldn't really cut it. And all of the games that I've seen so far that have attempted to be kind of Minecraft-like, they haven't been great. Alright, so we're at 11. How do I want to start this? How about the beginning? The beginning seems like a good plan. These non-square fields don't really jive too terribly well with the workers, but they'll do it. Okay. How are we at with our crops? We got wheat. We're 100% fertilized. We've already weeded both of them, so we're not going to see those anytime soon. We got our 20 trees ready to go here. So yeah, at this point, I guess we're just waiting for jobs. Now, one thing I could do is I could swap out tractors. Because this one is my older style tractor. You can tell because it's square. This is the one that I usually pull the fertilizer with. And the other one has the ability to do the front loading. So let's get this over wherever field 11 happens to be from here. There is no good way to go, actually. We'll go the scenic route. Welcome to Twins Tours. On your left, you will see the spinning station. Lovely family-owned business since 1902. They take all of your wool and cotton and turn it into textiles that will go into your clothing. On your right, the junkyard. It's owned by a crotchety old Jim. Hey, he's a character, isn't he? Coming up ahead, we have an open farmstead that has not been worked on in over a century. They're just waiting for some enterprising young fella to buy up the plot and start farming. Meanwhile, the land gets rented out by the city. Going up this way is a long and winding path up the cliffside. This was dug by settlers in the early 1700s. It's the only way they could get over this massive cliff. There are tales of hundreds of men who have died building this path. No one can confirm it because no one can find the bodies. Legends say that some of them are buried up in that church up there. There's an old Italian-style church that was built in 1850. So if the bodies are buried there, no one knows how they got there 100 years afterward. Clearly, someone had an accident. They're working to repair it right now. Straight ahead is the old horse ranch, owned by the Jeffersons. It's been in their family for decades. On the left, you'll see the old grain silo. They've been transporting grain here for easily 2 centuries. You know, it's actually hard to keep up with him when he's not stopping. Alright, let's go ahead and switch over and stoppy stop. Disconnect. Not sure what you're talking about, King Eric's, but sure. Alright, on go. FS19 car crash? Nothing really happens when you crash a car in FS19. On your left is the animal barn. They care for pigs, cows, chickens, and sheep. It's owned by the Smith family. They moved in about 2 years ago. No one knows how they bought that farm. Still says Patterson on it from the previous owner. Alright, where the hell am I going? Probably should have taken a right there. We'll take a right here. Or left. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Oh, for the church. Yeah, definitely car crash. I was so confused. Alright, I need to go this way. Ooh, bumpy. No, I'm not playing Space Engineers anymore. I didn't really care much for the vanilla game, and all of the mods kept breaking every time they updated the main game, so it was getting quite frustrating. Because all of my builds that I was building would break if any of the mods went away. So it was something that was really not fun to keep up with. Why can't I... Why can't I turn? The hell? No, because the freaking arm was too far down. Alright, I'm going to get a thing. And it's a thing I don't need just yet, but I want it very soon. Oops! I can fix this. Or I'm just going to keep going that way forever now. There we go. All better. Rebel Galaxy Outlaw. I don't think I know of that one. Okay, I'm going to get... For right now, I'm just going to get the pallet fork. But I may eventually want to get the bale spike as well. I thought there was a different bale spike you could get. I'm not seeing it though. This is close. Ow. But still not quite right. It might have been a modded item I was seeing from someone else's game, but it was a bale spike that it went up quite a ways and had basically just a metal backing on the back to do multiple bales stacked without worrying about them falling. I can't do too much selling wood because I don't have very many trees left, and a couple of them I wanted to keep for aesthetics. How are we doing over here? 67%. Still a little ways to go on this. But one of the reasons I wanted to get the pallet fork is I wanted to try transporting. Because I think all of the transporting are pallets, and I wanted to see how well that went. But I do want to sell wood, and that's why I've got the trees planted. Because I want to be able to do that at some point. It's just going to take some time. I'm going to need to crank up the speed quite a bit, or just naturally wait them out. But even then, I think if I crank up the speed, it's still going to take numerous real hours to get them to grow. So I'll have to crank up the speed a little bit when I'm AFK or something like that. But the only challenge is if you crank up the speed, that's growing time for your crops that you're not doing. So gotta be careful about that. How are we doing on this? 74%. So it's got a little bit of time left. So I'm gonna go ahead and pick up the pallet fork. It's only 800 bucks. That's just, you know, I don't really care much for the purple in this game, and I was wishing for a little bit more colors, but good old-fashioned gray will do just fine. Are you just really insisting on me not playing this game? Because you've been recommending that I play a whole lot of other games. Empyrion's on my list of games I want to try, but I don't like that idea of having to restart after every update. And I don't actually know enough about it, so I don't know what type of game it is. Oh good, I'm digging FS19 as well. Wow, those are actually almost perfectly lined up. They're off by just a hair. Ooh, that's right, now that I have a pallet fork, I can actually move my pallets. Amazing how that works. I might need to get a flatbed at some point soon here then, because I would love to be able to transport multiple pallets at a time. That was not a good lineup. Now I can move my pallets. you over here. Because. Now, the other tricky bit is putting them down. Because if you push too hard, then you end up rocking your own boat. If you don't push hard enough, then it doesn't come off the forks. That is really challenging. Hooray! I did a thing. I didn't do it well, but I did a thing. Okay, I don't know exactly what you're talking about there. It's like Space Engineers, but not like it. I mean, sure. I don't follow you. Okay, contract done. So I need to switch over quick. 7. But you need to stop doing things. Alright, so we're gonna get paid for this. So I did just see a contract, or a worker payment of like $1,400 or something like that. That was for all of those contracts. So I made easily 20, almost 30 grand from $1,400 worth of contractor work. So definitely worth it. Let's see, 14 and 17 need fertilizing. Ah, okay. Let's see, 24, 25, and 26 need to get did. Let's do 14 and 17 quick. If that's the case, I probably won't actually want to play it for very long. There's another one I'm supposed to be playing, eventually, Avorion, requested by one of our regulars, but can't get the damn thing to work, so that might not happen anytime soon. can't actually see where the end of this is. There we go. 14 done. So next up is 17. This is actually one of the reasons I'm thinking of investing in the really big machine eventually, because this is a really nice way to get cash on the side, especially if I can just throw a worker at it and be done with it. Alright, so skipping over 16, because 16 doesn't want my help currently. 16 might be on the list. Is 16 on the list? No, 16 is not on the list. They don't want my help. They were last in the line before. Took them a little while to come around while I was doing 14 and 17, so maybe 16 will show up in the list sometime soon here. Yeah, I heard the Avorion shipbuilding is a little bit more strategic, which I'm not opposed to, and I heard that there's a little bit more like actual PvE style combat. And that was one thing that was sorely lacking in Space Engineers. Space Engineers was basically Space Legos, with the occasional bad guy coming through. And there was nothing really to the concept of exploring or anything like that. There wasn't really much gameplay mechanic outside of the building, which is kind of where I lost the plot on that one, because there was no plot. Avorion, I've heard, has a lot more combat focus and a lot more like purpose to building your ships. Space Engineers had no purpose to building your ships. Like there was no shape requirements, which I actually kind of liked because then you could do whatever you wanted. There was power requirements, and that was basically it. Man, I can't see these things. I'm essentially going by feel at this point. Because in case you didn't notice, it's dark out. This is one reason I would love to have the farmhouse at some point, because you can actually sleep through the night. Because in current state, I can't sleep through the night. I can speed up time and try to ride out the night, but I can't actually sleep through the night. I can't actually see where I've been fertilizing either, which is also a problem. Alright, contract done, which means even though I couldn't see what I was doing, I got close enough. So, that one's done. Oh, StarMade. I played a very early alpha of that one. It had some promise to it. I'm curious where it's at now. I think they did some sort of larger release somewhat recently. Maybe I can find my old copy and give that a try at some point. And 22 would be another one to do. 24, 25, 26 are all okay to do. Field 8 harvesting, that number is still tempting. Like, still very tempting. But let's finish off the fertilizing jobs and then we'll rest the night. So let's take 22, which is the one that's next to mine down here. So we'll have to go that way. Although now that I'm going this direction, I probably should have done 24, 5, and 6 first. Because they're just right down there. They're at the bottom of this hill. That's fine. It doesn't take me all that much effort to drive 2 more steps over. Version 0.2. Okay. That means that they're still pretty early in development if 0.2 is their version number currently. That also means they're not released. And that means that I probably don't want to look at it anytime soon. Games that are still that early in development. By the way, that game's been in development for like 4 years, if not more. So that's going to be a slow progression. That is not one I'm interested in following anytime soon. I will attempt to pay attention to it when it actually gets released. Or at the very least hits beta or something like that, where it's closer to being finished. Alright, so 22 is on the other side of the junkyard. And this is another one that I can't see worth a damn, so I'm actually going to hire someone for this one. Ooh, last update. Oh, I was misreading your time, or your date during international format. Last update was 3 weeks ago. That's not too bad. But yeah, they can be, you know, releasing all the time and making all sorts of constant changes, but that's the exact kind of game I don't really want to follow right now. Because I've done that many times over. And Kerbals was a perfect example of that. Space Engineers was a perfect example of that. Every single update causes problems. Every single update may invalidate your saves. It's just a nightmare to try to follow. I'm fine with bug fixes. I'm fine with incremental small changes here and there. I'm even fine with, you know, big patches on finished games, but I can't do incomplete games. At least not right now. Speaking of which, there's an incomplete game I'm going to be potentially streaming sometime soon here, as soon as Farm Folks does their first pre-alpha release, but I'm going to be doing more of an initial show of that rather than a long-term play. Okay, Helper J has finished their task, except for the job's not done, because Helper J did a terrible job. I know roughly where they failed, so I think I can compensate for that. Oh, Star Citizen I won't even touch. They've been in development on that for like 6 or 7 years. They've begged and begged and begged for more and more money. They have feature creeped like crazy to the point where the game's never going to be finished because they keep promising more and more. They have spent their money on stupid shit like hiring famous actors to do their voice acting and stuff, and their motion capture and all that. They've gone so far off the deep end with all of the different features that they want for their game that they're never going to finish it. And to put it in perspective, I backed it on Kickstarter 4 years ago. Also, welcome back, Sebastian. I backed it on Kickstarter 4 years ago, and it's still not even close to coming out. It's still not even close to getting out of alpha, because they just keep pushing it further and further. 24, 25, 26. Let's do 24 first. And the game, to be fair, does look spectacular. Like, if I weren't salty about the whole process that they've put me through, I would be a lot more hyped about the Star Citizen. But I was also originally, in the original Kickstarter, they promised a solid single-player campaign experience, which so far they haven't delivered. They promised to be focused purely on the spaceship side of things, which they haven't delivered because they started putting so much effort towards Squadron 42, which is their FPS, which, you know, great that they're going to implement an FPS into it, but I don't see how that's related to the original game. They've just gone so far afield of what they originally promised that as a Kickstarter backer, as someone who has already paid money for the game, I've got 120 bucks sunk into that game already. I feel like they're not going for what they promised. They're making new promises over and over and over again. And every new promise that they make, every new feature that they say they're going to do, is just that much further from development, or from completion. Whoa. I like these little fields. Nice little couple $100 bucks. So 24 is done. 25 is next to me, yeah. It's about 1,200 bucks between the three tiny little fields here that take all of like 2 seconds to do. I am almost out of fertilizer though, so all that fertilizer I bought is just about gone. Okay, contract on 25 done. Now 26, right across here. It's not that I feel cheated. I mean, I know I'm eventually going to get a game out of it. I just feel like they're not fulfilling promises. And I feel like, I don't know, I feel like they've gone to some excessive extremes to beg for money. When I did the Kickstarter, they were asking for $2 million. And they said that $2 million is what they needed to make this game. And they got $4 million, I think. Maybe a little bit more. But then they continued asking for money on their own website. And they continued selling individual ships for ridiculous sums of cash. They have a backer option. Like, can't think of words right now. They have a backer option for something like 100 grand or like 50 grand or something like that to buy all of the current ships in the game. And that's just insane to me. Like, they just keep asking for more money. They never have stopped asking for more money. And they're up to probably over 100 million that they've collected so far. Oh, they have 200 million. Even better. Last time I checked, it was 90 million. So I was trying to do conservative guesstimate. But yeah, that's my point, is that they said that they could make this game for 2 million. And if they truly could make this game for 2 million, then why did they pay probably a few million to Mark Hamill to do voice acting and motion capture in the game? It's unnecessary. They've gone so far beyond what they have ever said they would do that it's just gone into complete excess. And it may be a spectacular game when it's done. Like, all of this money that they're putting into it may end up being like the best game that has ever existed. But I'm a little bit salty about the whole thing because of the time that they said they would do it in. They said that they'd be done by now. The money they said they'd do it in. They said they only needed 2 million. It's never ending. Okay, so I've done all of the jobs that I care to do right now. Plowing, baling. I don't want to do any of those. Plowing is terrible. It just takes for bloody ever, and you get no cash out of the deal. Baling is... I'm still tempted to do baling, honestly. Well, Altair, everyone's got issues. Your issue is a daddy issue. But at least you like it. Good for you. Alright, you know what? I'm gonna do this job. I shouldn't, but I'm gonna. Maybe I'll turn up the speed while I do that, perhaps. Yeah, we'll turn up the speed while I do that job, and then probably have to stop multiple times during that job to accomplish things like harvesting my own fields and stuff like that. I do believe they are doing VR eventually. Maybe even already in progress, I don't know. But still. And I don't really like the idea that the game is going to be always online multiplayer. That's not what I signed up for. That's not what was promised to me in the Kickstarter. Because I don't like always online multiplayer, especially if it's going to end up being anything like Eve. We've already covered Eve. Oh, cancel, son of a bitch. I meant to borrow. Baling field. Hey, look! The price went up. Borrow. No, that might be the same price. I don't remember. Borrow. Yes. Alright, I'm gonna leave this here. Well, Altair, everyone's got hobbies. Why was this parked in the middle of the street? Where was I going with this? What was I doing with this? I don't know. We'll bring it to the store and leave it there for a little bit. Whoops, oversteered. Oversteering is a challenge I have yet to overcome. Alright, we're gonna park you here-ish. Sure. Gonna go get our new vehicles. Alright, I do believe... Let's see... I thought you could put both of these together on the same side. We'll try that. And now you can do that. Can I also do that? I can! Okay. That's good. Alright, so first up is mowing, and we're doing field 9 up here. So I gotta go that direction. Dual universe? What you talking about? I don't know what that is. You know, I just realized I could be bringing the thing behind me. But you said something like dual universe. I don't know what dual universe is. Or if you're talking about Sword Art Online, the game, which I wasn't aware there was a game. Like, I don't know what you're talking about, man. Sentences. Sentences help. Or are you talking about Star Citizen again? After you've mentioned 2 other things. I'm confused. Alright, I'm gonna bring, let's see, we need to... Oh! We're doing silage on this one, okay. That's good to know. There. Lots of things happening. So, this is a silage job? Yeah, this is a silage job. Good. Alright, so... I like silage. I like making marshmallows. Ah, this is the one that can change driving direction. That's nifty. Hey, Sakura-chan, how you doing? Welcome. Oop. Don't text while driving, kids. It's not healthy. Alright, so I need to make a turn, right turn up here at the silo. I'm doing perfectly good. I'm about to mow some lawn. And that is not a euphemism. The game is loud. Well, the machines are loud. I could get out of the machine. It's nice and quiet inside. But I do kind of need to see what I'm doing. I could turn on the machines ever so slightly. Okay, I need to unfold. Now that you mention it, the machines are a hair loud. We'll drop the machines down a little bit more. Got this game 2 days ago. How are you liking it? Have you conquered the farming world yet? Okay, we're gonna lower that, turn that on. I'm going to unfold this, lower that, turn that on. Oh, can I not turn them all on at the same time? That would be unfortunate. It's entirely possible I can't turn them all on at the same time, which would be very, very unfortunate. Unfold, and then lower, on. Okay, I can turn that one on. Ooh, the side panel. You know, I've heard people mention the side panel. I'm curious. Let me look that one up quick here. Nifty. I'm going to put that on my wish list and take a look at that later. I've heard of the side panel. I didn't know what it was because I've only ever heard it called the side panel. So now that I know the full name of it, thanks to you, I will put that on my list and see if that's something I want to do. Looks nifty. Looks nifty indeed. Looks like a six axis control stick, which would be handy. Bunch of on-off stuff for everything. Well, that looks pretty smexy. I like it. Okay, back to figuring this thing out. So I can turn that on. And I turn this on. I can. Oh, I can turn them all on at once. Good, good. That means we can do this whole damn thing in a single pass. Although I think I want that to be center. Lift? Yeah, then I can change the work mode. Center. Center's good. There we go. That'll do. Yeah, I thought SciTech was its own separate brand. I didn't realize that. Did they team up or something? Interesting. This is incredibly slow. Alright, so I'm going to set a worker. Do the thing, worker. The old one is crap? Okay, good to know. I'll try to find the newer one. It's 150 bucks, so it's maybe a little bit expensive to buy into right now for me, but definitely looks nice. I've also been looking kind of at a wheel, because keyboard car control is kind of terrible. Might try to plug in the controller, see how that goes. So now let's grab this, not run into it. The newer one doesn't have writing on the multi-axis control. Okay. I am curious. Some games you can just plug in the controller and it just works, especially if they have the Xbox controller support built in. Not all games do that, so I'm wondering if I plug in the controller right now if it'll just work, or if I have to do work to get it to go. I could give that a try. Controller is plug and play. Delightful. Now let me give that a try. We're gonna stop in the middle of this intersection here, right next to the big cow. I'm gonna try to plug in the controller and hope it doesn't explode things. So before I do that, save just in case. All right, let me grab my controller. So far away, can't reach. There we go. Controller search. Not seeing it? Might be out in the main menu? Eh. Hate games that don't have all the settings available. Oh, hey! It worked anyway. Never mind. I'm controllering right now. I don't know any of the controller buttons, but that's okay. Left button, right button, detach, select tool, select camera. Aha! Not bad. My controller is not perfect. My controller is old. It is an original Xbox 360 controller. So it is in the much older age bracket. The stick is a little bit on the sensitive side. Welcome back, Demos. Sakura has convinced me to try out the controller on this, and so far, so good. Meanwhile, I have a worker mowing the field. Hi, cat. I have a cat. I do have a controller, I just don't normally use it because I prefer mouse and keyboard. Old Xbox 360 controller. This one. It's got crud all over it because it's been sitting on the floor for a long time. But this one. Yep, wired. Although I'm not entirely sure that this wired is a direct USB connection, because I also have the wireless dongle plugged in, and I don't know which one it's technically using. But I know I need it plugged in because the batteries are all shot and it needs to be plugged in for power. It is kitty time while we wait for the worker to do work. Kitty time. Hi, kitty. Yeah, dude. Old school. I got this thing when the 360 like came out. But it's a solid controller. It still works great. I'm looking at the line that this thing is creating. Look at that green smoke coming up from behind there. Oh, that's terrifying. But it is not, it's not being gentle with the line that it's creating. This is going to be interesting. Because normally when you've got the windrow like that, it, you would give it some space to make new rows. But it can also merge existing rows. And the way this thing is working, it's merging every single row into one really, really big row. Like, just really, really big row. Because there's no rows over here. That's a challenge. Here, let me... What are you doing, buddy? What are you doing? Let me... Let this guy turn himself around. I'm going to let him turn around. Because he's better at it than me. And then I'm going to stop. Yeah, see, he's doing a single line. That's what he's doing. So he's doing, on the right-hand side, a single row of grass. And then he's essentially remowing the existing line. And then windrowing it all together. So, not so spectacular. So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to get this thing out of the way. Maybe start it up again? Yeah, I think I'll start him up again right here. Which means I need to push all of the buttons. I need you on and down. I need you on and down. And then I need you on and down. There we go. Yeah, that worker was not working too hard. He was working hourly. He was definitely aiming for hourly on that. All right, so now I need to come over here. Let him get out of the way. Hopefully he'll turn that a direction. Okay, whatever. And hopefully he doesn't attempt to take over that other window again. Where you going, buddy? You doing the thing that I wanted you to do? Yeah, he's doing the thing I wanted him to do. Okay, that's good. Grab the controller again, see if I can get used to doing this. So, we've got... Oh, I love when they do the auto detection. It's so nice. Alright, so Y to select tool. Is there no button to turn... Wait. Where's all the buttons to turn on the tools? They are all disappearing. Maybe it's not a perfect system. Yeah, I can't seem to find the, Oh, that's where they are. Okay. Weird that they hid them under these menus. Yeah, the AI is a little bit wonky in this, but not too bad. Where's my lights? Do I not have lights? I don't have lights. Need lights. Lights are important. Okay, so we need to unfold Baler. We need to lower the pickup. And we need to turn on the Baler. Okay. Now he's in my way again. Alright, we are going to be pulling out all the stops to create as many bales as we possibly can. It's the green poop creator. Just pinching them off one at a time. Gothic, I'm not familiar with that one, actually. This line might be a little bit too thick. Okay. Pause the controls for a moment here. I need to go fix the other worker. You, sir, need to stop. I need lighter bales. I need lighter rows. Sorry. So on, and then on, and then on. How is Elix? Elix, whatever. I haven't seen all that much about it. Okay. Fly, Bale, fly. Elix sucks. Good to know. Yeah, this row is a little bit too much on the girthy side. It's really hard to manage. Alright. Actually, it may also be that this tractor is a little bit underpowered for this thing. That is entirely possible. Typically, I end up using the tractors that they give me. Hey, Mackenzie. Welcome back. I know of Gothic. I have heard of it. I've never played it, though. This tractor doesn't have the power. It needs more power. King Eric's, I cannot answer that question. I have not played 17. So if someone else has answers... Oh, so RestreamBot is I'm streaming to Twitch, Mixer, and YouTube all at the same time. So that RestreamBot is actually King Eric's speaking from the YouTube side of things. No, it is primarily a PC streaming service, but since Microsoft bought it, they have been advertising it very heavily as an Xbox streaming service. But you can stream from both. Cats, what the hell are you doing? Alright, I need to wait for this guy to turn around and steal his line again, I think. I need to wait for him to turn around, because I will not be able to turn that rig around myself. I still see struggling to turn the rig around. Got it. Getting there. Let's switch over there. Alright, you need to stop. You need to not do that. Thank you. Okay, so that's a new line. Now I have to turn all the crap back on again. God damn. Alright, lower, on, switch, switch, lower, on, switch, 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 lower, on. Okay. Worker, do your job. There we go. That worker doesn't understand how a windrow works, and it tries to compile everything into a single line, which this thing cannot handle. So every once in a while, once the rows are big enough, I have to manually readjust them. Right, I was going to do a thing. I was going to adjust the speed up. Actually, I need to keep an eye on growth. There we are. Little message is going to pop up every 2 seconds, isn't it? There we go. This is a more manageable line. Are you talking about a mod? I don't recognize that. But I do know that a lot of the mods are being slowly updated to work in 19. I have not, Demos. Someone else has recommended Spin Tires and or Mud Runner. I had asked the question previously of, you know, what's first off, what's the difference between Spin Tires and Spin Tires Mud Runner? Because I haven't found an answer to that one yet. I mean, I like automation to a point, but I'm not entirely sure I'd want to automate the whole darn thing. Howdy, Polar Plays, welcome. Spin Tires is the outdated original version of the game. Okay, so Mud Runner is the next evolution. Probably going to adjust him after this row just so that the line doesn't get too unmanageable. Yeah, Spin Tires is kind of on my radar. I'm not sure if I'm ready to play that one just yet, but it is on my radar. What are you doing, you crazy helper? You didn't even go all the way back. Alright, fine. I'll do a loop. Hello, Sparkles! Out of my way, Bale. Okay, turn this monstrosity back on again. There we go. Twitch must lag to heck, that's what it's doing. That's what it does. Okay, now we can switch and then check crops. One more cycle for growth. So pretty soon here, actually, the crops will be done. I am doing a job. I'm doing hay baling. Very slowly. I did stuff I need to catch you up on. Also, I do believe... Oh, crop's not done yet. Almost. Oh, it's not that bad. Worker, why are you spazzing? Are you waiting for the birds to cross? That was weird. Oh, sweet baby Jesus. Hey, Naros Benny, that was terrifyingly loud. Thank you for the sub. Appreciate it. Oh, lordy. So, I need to adjust the volume on that. Oh, good lord. Hold on. Let's fix that. How do I not do that again? I don't know how to not do that again. Why does this one specifically not have volume? Sorry. I tried to turn on audio announcements, and clearly I did. But I didn't realize that there was no... volume control on that. Yes, stop streaming because heart attack, Doc. Don't try to make it anything other than what it was. You are from Romania? Well, welcome. Worker, do thing. Yay, worker, do thing. Now the slow, plodding progress forward. You know, this worker's terrible. He leaves grass behind. He tries to kill me with his lines. He's just not good. Ah, crops. 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 Okay. So, what I think I'm going to do is I think I'm going to pause our worker here. And I'm going to attempt to harvest my crops. So let's see. We've got our standard canola crop up here. So this is going to take a little bit. I might even set a worker on this, I'm not positive. I'm curious if my trees started growing, though. Bye, Narrows. Thanks for stopping by, and thanks for the sub. So in canola, there's no real extra process out the back. My other field is wheat, and you can get the product out the back in the form of straw. But apparently canola doesn't have anything useful other than the actual, I guess it's the seed. I'm just getting the seed. I'm getting the seed, and whoever wants to buy the seed to turn it into something, they can do that. But yeah, probably canola oil. I was also too old for SpongeBob, and every clip I've seen of SpongeBob has been nothing but cringeworthy to me. Based on rumor and hearsay, fair enough. Vertical lines? What? Oh, are you talking about like the weird corruption that shows up on the bottom? That's a Twitch issue. I don't know exactly what causes that. Actually, that might be a restream issue for all I know, because I've seen that out of Mixer as well. But then again, I've seen that issue in Mixer for people who stream only to Mixer. I know Civil has that problem sometimes. But the weird thing is I'm not seeing it on my side. Like, I'm watching my streams in another browser window here, and I'm not seeing those same things you guys are saying. So it's not universal, which means I have no idea what's actually causing it. It probably is the janky plot lines. There's only so much I can do about the janky plot lines. The only other thing I could do is potentially square it off, drastically shrinking the field, and then figure out how to make use of the extra land. It's similar concept to the potato harvesting. We've got this little long seed arm thing here. Pull up a trailer next to it and it spews out the seeds. But I will need to go get my trailer as soon as this thing is nearing full. Actually, I think I had my trailer up here. I could just stop by. Where is my trailer? There's my trailer. Alright, I think I'm gonna pass by and empty this. And then set a worker on it to auto work while I go get my tractor, so I can do that. I know, Doc. It's oddly therapeutic to do it as well. Just slowly going in circles, getting rid of all the stuff. And if you don't want to do circles anymore, you can switch up to straight lines. If you want, you can switch into in-cab view and go this route instead, I guess. I'm actually going to stop there. Come over this direction and unload. There we are. It is a very nicely insulated cab. Yep, the seat's all wiggly. It's not as fun as some of the tractors where the entire cab wiggles back and forth. Bird! Bird. Fuck you, bird. Stop stealing my seed. Alright, we're empty. Unfortunately, the birds are smarter than me, so I can't run it over. They'll always get out of the way. Alright, I'm going to set this job on autopilot for a little bit here. And then I'm going to go get this one. Zoom zoom. Your vote is for the crop circles. I would probably have to break out the controller for the crop circles, because I can't do circles very well with the keyboard controls. Oh dear. Okay, I need to... Really? Really? spray fertilizing the crows. I'm sure they would totally appreciate being sprayed with insecticide and pig piss and other assorted unsavory things. It's weird, I am not seeing the encoding problems. Let me check on everything on my side here. Let's see. CPU's fine. GPU's fine. Memory's fine. See. Restream incoming is fine. Mixer outgoing is fine. YouTube outgoing is fine. Twitch outgoing claims to be fine, but it is dipping down to like 3000 bitrate instead of my usual 4000. So maybe that's where it's having problems? Let me monitor it from my side a little bit. As long as they're not super terrible. I mean, I've seen it before where it is terrible. It's like the bottom third of the screen roughly and just god awful. But let me keep an eye out for it and see if I can see it. Alright, helper, go. You're gonna miss that little section, but that's fine. I'll fix it later. Okay. You have fun with that, buddy. It's a really tall crop, or I'm a really short person. I can't tell. Okay, I need to dump my weight off somewhere. Sure. Naughty manly mouse. I like the naughty manly mouse. Okay, I'm gonna put you like there, I guess. Well, so that's not how it works, Mackenzie. So I'm streaming to one service. I'm streaming to Restream. Restream is tackling the re-posting and rebroadcasting out to the other services. So it's not my CPU handling all three of them. It's just one. So it might be that Restream is having issues getting it out to the different locations. But that's, I'm not seeing it in multiple locations. I'm not seeing issues everywhere. I'm not seeing it at all, actually. I don't even see it on Twitch, so I'm not entirely sure where the issue is. Taking a look at the clip. Yeah, that definitely does look like an encoding issue. Restream does have issues, but it's not like the other services aren't without their own issues streaming to them individually. I know Mixer's got issues sometimes. I know Twitch does too. If I'm going to switch to just one, though, it's probably going to be Mixer. And getting some of my regulars to come over to Mixer might be challenging because some people are really resistant to go to Mixer. I'm hesitant to believe that, Mackenzie, because I haven't had issues up until tonight. So I'm more likely to believe that it's going to be a restream issue. Also, I don't know what the hell I'm doing at the moment. I want to leave that parked right here. I'm going to switch over to the mowing situation, see if I can figure that out. Because I would like to finish this job eventually. No one's mentioned it for at least a month. And again, I don't see it, so I'm baffled by what's going on here. Has it been happening for other games? Okay. On all of the things. Well, I appreciate it nonetheless, even though it's apparently terrible quality. I have been wanting to upgrade my PC, I just don't know if that's going to be the solution if it's a restream issue. I could try just streaming to one of the services a night here or there, but it's so much a pain to get them over to YouTube after that. That is correct, Doc. In fact, there are two tools in the front. It's a pair of mowers. Normally I would have one of the mowers in the front and one in the back as counterweight. But since I've got the option to do this tool in the back, I figured why not do it all in one run. It's a trio of mowers, but a pair of devices. One of the devices is a pair of mowers in one. Thanks. The only reason it's an important clarification is that I only have to turn on two of them instead of turning on three of them. Because I already have to turn on three different devices because of the third thing in the back. And I've decided I'm not going to do a perfect job on this because it's turning into a pain in the ass. I don't want to do it anymore. But I don't want to just cancel it because I'm like a third of the way done. So I'm not going to worry about capturing all of the mowy things. I'll do the best I can. The baling is actually not a terrible job. It's a lot of steps, and I do kind of enjoy it, but I took this job after having done about a dozen other jobs, and I was not really prepared for this. Oh, Doc, strap in. There's so much more I have missed. Hey, if the mower could double as a tater mower, I'd be happy. Like, there needs to be more multi-purpose jobs in this game. There are way too many single-purpose tools. And as Alton Brown says, or some sort of paraphrasing of that, single-purpose tools are terrible. I'm sure he has a better saying for it because Alton Brown is awesome. But still, he hates single-purpose tools. Sort of. It does not entirely follow the percentage because this job is purely about selling the bales. So what it has is, let me finish moving forward, there we go. It's got an arbitrary 20% done for something it has considered to be completed. I don't know what it's justifying that 20% for, but the rest is not going to show up until I've actually sold bales. So normally when I do a job like this, I would mow every ounce that I possibly could outside of the field lines and then work on getting it all in, because each bale that I sell over what they want me to is cashed in my pocket. Like, for whatever reason, I get to keep the excess. I don't know why. It doesn't make sense to me, but whatever. I'll take it. So harvesting jobs can be lucrative because you can keep the excess. So all of that I just did there would be something I'd probably work on keeping. Probably not going to do that this time around. I'm going to get as much as I can, but not focus too hard on it. Just going to get this last stripe here because it's moderately significant. And I'm probably going to swap out the baler onto this thing, because I think this thing is a little bit more powerful than my tractor over there. My tractor is having a hard time running the lines. Okay, that is as much as I care to do. So we are going to dump that mess. Oh, I have to actually, like, turn it off and shit. Weird. The baling process is several steps. You have to mow it first, and then you have to consolidate it into lines, and then you have to run the baler over to create the bales. And in this case, I'm also making silage, so I have to do a separate step to wrap the bales. And actually, there's two different bales for grass. There's silage, which is fermented grass, and then there's hay, which is dried grass. So either I have to wrap the bales afterward to make the silage, or before consolidating into lines, you have to run a separate machine over them called a tedder to dry it out. And then you consolidate it into lines. So yeah, it is absolutely a multi-step process. Why can't I let go of this damn machine? There we go. So I need to let go. Missed. Missed horribly. Okay, so back to the line consolidation. And this thing just pinches off little green turds in the back and everything's happy. You just tried to zoom out. There, zoomed out for you. Oh, look at that terrible mess over there. I feel ashamed. Normally I clean up a hell of a lot better than that, but I've stopped caring about this job. Now this tractor has an interesting feature. I'll stop after this next line to show it off. There's only like 2 tractors that have it, but you can see how there's glass in the back. That is important to this feature. So let me finish collecting right there. So if we zoom in, so we can see our dude. By the way, they actually animate the foot pedals, which is amazing. It's like just a great touch. If I push that button, the whole shit turns around. It's amazing. It's like the best feature ever. It's so flippin' amazing. I want one. I want one for personal use. And that's what I will typically do, Doc. The hardest challenge that I have with doing it that way is if you don't have clear, concise lines like these, it's harder to judge where you're doing your alternates. So like if I'm doing my hay field, for example, it's kind of hard to judge where the next alternate line is. Just because it's kind of hard to see how wide your working width is. But yeah, I'll definitely do that a lot, especially for the machines that don't turn very well. But yeah, I'm definitely noticing some performance hits on this. I'm not seeing the crazy jankiness, but I am seeing performance hits. I wonder if that's just because I've had the game running since noon and it didn't restart it. And it is a Unity game. I mean, you might notice the halo. I know you've mentioned the halo before, Doc. This game does have the halo. There, it's much more visible in the green field. Whoa, I can't turn around properly. So maybe, like some other Unity games, it has a little bit of a memory leakage issue. Yeah, and the only thing I don't like about the rendering is it's so close. And I don't know if that's adjustable per Unity game and they just happen to have theirs adjusted really close, or I've just never noticed it before. Oh, I've never noticed that, actually. Like, in watching your videos, I've never noticed that. It's probably much more visible when you're playing it. And this, it's mostly noticeable in certain circumstances, like when you're in the middle of a field and you can't even see the entirety of the field. Oh, this is terrible. I feel bad about my driving. Huh. Because then I'm sure the striped shadow doesn't get rendered fully and you have like a ring of a shadow. Yeah, let's attempt to follow this mess. Man, I created a hell of a mess here. Whoops. Forgot to straighten myself out. Oh, interesting. Okay. But yeah, that makes sense. That's pretty standard par for the course for the Unity render halo. It's just odd that it's so close. Bird. Okay, one more line to do after this. And then we have just a boatload of bales to do. After I'm done collecting here, I am going to pause and revisit my fields, because those need to be tackled sooner than later, so that they don't wither on me, because withering's bad. The environment, like the overall, like level design, or how do you mean? Whoa. The world itself is great, and this is one of 3 maps that are currently available. So this one is the vaguely American style region. I don't even know what region it's modeling after, honestly. But vaguely American, with American style buildings and stuff. There's also one that's based in Germany, I believe. And there's another one that's South American. And so far I've played the mostly in this one and a little bit in the Germany one. And they're both great. I love the layouts of them. I have not seen weather yet, amazingly enough. I have not seen weather. I swear to God, weather's turned on. Alright, so let me unload this thing. Unfortunately, I can't get the current bale out, even if it's just a partial bale. So that's a thing. So let me dump this doohickey off into someone else's field, and then we'll go get the other thing. sunny is technically weather, and you do occasionally see some form of cloud. Yeah, the challenge I don't know how to solve yet is if I'm attempting to do multiple different types of bale. Like for my own personal farm, what happens when I attempt to do grass and then also straw? Like, what happens at that point? Do I have to have a separate baler? I don't know. Alright, so we're going to solve this problem quick because it ran out of, or it got full. Whatever you gotta do to keep sane, Doc. Weather is rare. Interesting. So this is unloading. And it does fill up unevenly, so if you spread it out, it will level roughly. Yeah, there's potential for rain and hail. I don't know if there's potential for more. Okay, we're just going to leave this right here. Alright, so next up is the wrapping process, and the wrapping process is kind of slow, unfortunately. So we'll do some of it, but we'll have to jump back and forth between the different fields at some point here. Ooh, that was janky. All of a sudden dropped down to like 15 FPS. Did that translate into funkiness on the stream? I don't see funkiness on the stream. I don't like weather. Weather should stop. We don't need no stinking atmosphere. We ruined it anyway. It's all terrible now. Terribly programmed? That's believable, because that is something I would do. There are so many twins around, it's amazing. Alright, so now we got a baler. It goes up, and then it goes spinny, 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 turning it into a cubical marshmallow. You can also change the color of the wrapping. I think it can do white, pink, black, and maybe green. Maybe. Identical or fraternal? Oh yeah, Doc. This game strives for realism. There's also a circular bale wrapper that does it even more differently. More differentlier. Oh, this is so obnoxious. Okay, so this is what I would consider a bug with this one. The first bale automatically drops when it's done wrapping. Every other bale after that you have to drop by hand. I don't know why, but it's very irritating. Yeah, close enough. I'm fairly certain it's possible to have identical, different sex twins. I just don't know for sure how it turns out visually. So the ones that I've seen then must have been fraternal, but very similar gene set result. Because they were different sex, but they were absolutely nearly identical to each other. I mean, obviously there were some minor differences for the different facial structures, but it was so minor that it was barely noticeable. Next up on Twin Learns Things, Twin needs to look up the term identical, apparently. I know, Doc. As I said, this is a slow process, and we'll have to interject occasionally to go take care of our actual fields. The bale wrapping process is painfully slow, but this is one of the most profitable enterprises in the game. If I were to actually get into this, doing actual hay silage. The only other one that's more profitable, I think, is corn silage. And that's done through an entirely different process. I have 9 square marshmallows. Bale wrapping simulator go. I do like watching the baling wrapper go. It's nifty looking. So at one point, I I determined I had done a field so smoothly, like every single line was the same, that I determined that I could go at exactly 3 kilometers per hour, not miles per hour, kilometers per hour, which is like 1.5 miles per hour. And I could just set it and it would do its thing. So let me see if I can do that here. So let's do 2 miles per hour. Let's do 3 kph. No, you don't ever have to replace the wrapping material. It's kind of assumed at this point. I don't think there's a cost involved in it either, which is a little bit unrealistic because that wrapping material can be pretty pricey. Okay, looks like we can potentially go a little bit faster on this. Let's go 5. So we're going to try 5 kph and see if the timing works out on this specific row. Hey, if Salsa doesn't want to work, she doesn't get a salary. Nope, looks like 4 kph is the answer. Yep, exactly, Doc. On this specific row. Each row has a different spread because each row is a different thickness of grass, but, you know, it's fun to think about. It's fun to fiddle with it. Yeah. Close enough. Speaking of that, I haven't actually gotten to show you the new thing. I haven't gotten to show it yet. Because I've been distracted with this terrible marshmallow creation job. Helper A has nearly full grain take. I need to go help Helper A. Oops. I broke it. I broke it. Oh, that was smooth. That was smooth. All right, I'm gonna let that do its thing. We're gonna go over here, empty out helper A. I would be so happy with growing marshmallows from grass. Yes, terraforming. It was actually in their latest update. If you go watch DF's videos, he's been doing some interesting terraforming. How's our canola prices, by the way? Actually pretty good. Pretty good. Where was that? That was Central Grain Elevator. Alright. And that is right there. Yeah. I'm going to do a canola selling run. Oh yeah, he's totally farting around. I mean, at this point, from what I can tell of DF, he does not play games seriously. He just purely screws around. But there's a significant amount of people who enjoy watching that. I'll watch a little bit, but there's only so much screwing around I can take. Alright, I need to lower my forks so I don't, like, stab the sky. There we go. Oh yeah, since he pretty much only screws around in games, I wouldn't watch him for first time around. Alright, so we're going to finish filling this with canola, because I have some stored away. Perfect. Then we're going to go sell it. Because now is a good time to sell. Nothing. Just for looks. It'd be interesting if it did do something, like actually, if you leave the cover off, maybe some of the grain would blow away or something. But no, just for looks. It does prevent filling, that is correct. It does stop you from actually filling it with something. But beyond that, nothing. Alright, we're going to tip side right. Or I'm gonna, you know, run into shit. That's fine too. That's fine. All of it's fine. Apparently tip side right is not the answer, so I'm going to... tip side right. Grain door. There we go. Let's do grain door. Almost 30 grand. Very nice. Now, I could potentially continue saving. It's a rare and random chance that you're going to get a big demand, but it's like 4 times. So it may be worth saving if I can get 4 times the price. I think it's semi-realistic, Doc. I know that there are drop-off points like that, but I think it's more for like a silo that only deals in one type of grain. Or they have some sort of clean out and switch mechanism that they can do. I don't know for sure. I know that that does exist. I just don't know if it's used for like multiple grain drop-off points or if it's single. But yes, to earlier point, for immersion's sake, I do try to close this wherever possible. I don't always remember to, but... because my immersion. Alright, worker, load me up. Load me up. Okay, you're just gonna keep on driving away from me, that's fine too. Nope, I should not be doing that, backing up. Oh yeah, no, if you're talking about that kind of contamination, yes. But normally they have filtering process, because the grain that comes in has I used to know these terms, but the grain that comes in has a bunch of crap still attached to it that needs to be removed, up to and including any leaf material or stalk material that may have been captured during the harvesting process. So normally grain elevators like that and grain processing systems have multiple layers of filtering to get rid of all the undesirable stuff. So I don't think they're as concerned about it. Helper A has stopped work unexpectedly for an unknown reason. Okay. Nothing appears to be not correct. Looks like I'm doing the rest of this myself. I'm not making shit up. Helper A needed a soda break. Exactly. I do try really hard to know things. Like, I frequently watch things like how it's made. Just to watch things get made and to learn things. I used to thrive on the Discovery Channel back when it actually had, you know, learnable things. And the Learning Channel? Oh, don't even get me started. It used to have learning things. I think the Learning Channel turned into something basic like Lifetime. It was stupid. That was due to the ground being all sorts of janky. I have to go back and get it. Hey, don't you give me sass. I can just see the head waving right now. Mm-hmm. Look at that janky ground. That janky ground causes me problems. In your job description. I don't remember writing that into your job description on my farm. I don't remember that being something that was possible. Curse you, uneven ground. There we go. Okie dokie. This is too wide. That is unfortunate. I'm gonna have to get it correctly the first time around, apparently. I'll take it. Alright, so that section's done. I still have this section over here that the helper would not help with. Also, there's a single spot over here that got missed. What's up, Doc? What? Oh, I didn't get your shoulders thing. I was just confused. I was confused, but I didn't want to draw attention to it. Too late. Oh, now I get it. Okay. And I cannot wait for a bigger harvester. This thing is, not on the wide scale of things. I think this one's a 4 meter? Something like that? Why are you still going? Stop going! Well, I'm glad you stuck it out this long. You must have really liked watching the farming things. Now I'm going to pause right before I finish this field and go do something else. Yup. Oh, Jesus. Don't tip it. Tipping it's bad. I don't have a way to fix that. Ha! Got that one too. Alright, so this field is done. It can tip and fall over, yes. You wouldn't lose anything out of it. But if you have to do the reset option, you lose whatever's inside of it. So if I couldn't tip it back up again with something like my fork there, I would have to reset it and lose everything. I forgot to drop off while I was over here. And I've been able to right myself with tractors, no problem. But I'm really concerned about righting this guy upright. Okay, so our current price for canola is still pretty good at $13.84. But I'm kind of leaning back towards storing it until we get like a great demand or something, or until we need cash. So let's go store it for now. At some point I would love to get my own, but that's expensive. And unfortunately the existence of these don't really incentivize you getting your own. Because if you get your own, you can store, I think it's like 200,000 of a single type. whereas these can store either 1 or 200,000 of every type. So they don't really give you an incentive to get your own, when it would essentially cost you about $1 million to be able to store 200,000 of every type. So I found that a little bit odd. Okay, I'm driving this thing, and I'm going to go visit the other field, because we need to harvest the other field now. So many lines! So many lines. Alright, Doc. Have yourself a good night. Thanks for stopping by. Let's see. Well, I'm already committed to this way, so we'll go this way. Yipe. Them damn trees getting in my way. I saw the limes. I actually kind of assumed it was a typo, actually. Okay, so now this is a field of wheat. But also hidden amongst here, barely visible, I planted trees. I'm so excited for these to start growing. So Sparkles, we've got more trees coming. I planted 40 trees. So many trees. Apparently, yes. I was not aware of this, but yes, you can. Go to bed, Will Wheaton. Okay, yeah, we're gonna harvest that direction. But yeah, planted trees, I'm excited for that. They're gonna take like 12 bloody days to grow, so long haul, but still. Cool whip, yes. Alright, I need to teleport over. Let's get another bale going, because why not? Oh yes, there will be chopping. Now we gotta get this bugger over to that field. What's the best way to get there with a big-ass, unwieldy machine? None of the directions. None of the directions are great for a big-ass, unwieldy machine. Okay. Then I need to cut in after the junkyard to get a straight shot. There's the junkyard. Okay. No, that's 22. I want 22. Alright, so we're enabling the straw swath. We're gonna get straw. And at some point, I would like to get my own baling machines. But they're really friggin' expensive. The basic baling machine is 50,000. And it's terrible. So I wouldn't even bother. I'd get this one. I could technically afford it right now, I guess. That's not a huge issue. But then I would also need some sort of trailer to put the bales in. I don't think I want this trailer necessarily. I think there's another trailer. I think I'm probably going to start with one of these. With just the thing pulled down. But I think there are other trailers. Maybe? Actually, the only other trailers that I know of are either the loading wagons, which can load up hay directly rather than baling it, or the forestry trailer things. I don't think there are any other decent trailers, at least not flatbeds. There's the low loader, but that's just for heavy equipment. Actually, the cotton trailer is pretty nice. I don't know if it has tie downs though. That's a thing. I'll probably have to test that in single player. If it has tie downs, great. The cotton trailer is actually pretty great. But yeah, we need tie downs to make sure stuff doesn't go flying. Because I'm not the greatest driver. All right, let's line this thing up. Oh, okay, that's actually lined up. All right, worker, do the thing. Yay, we have hay. The good thing with getting hay this way, or getting straw this way, is that it comes in a straight line. So I don't have to get a merger to start off with. I can just get the baler. So that's a nice little piece. Now if I'm going to do grass, I will have to get a merger. But for right now, this will do just fine. Where you going, buddy? Oh, he might actually back up to drop the hay behind him, rather than trying to drag it off the lot. That's good planning. Now, hopefully this shit behind him isn't going to run him into problems. Nope, he don't care. He don't care at all. I'm going to move those, though. Let me get out of this guy. Alright, so we'll drop you. And then we'll drop you. Now, how do I get it? Meh? Meh? Meh. Fine, we'll do it this way. Can I really not get this thing loaded anymore? Well, balls. Alright, I'll have to figure that out later. So why? Why are you going to be a turd? Wait, that might have... Oh, that almost flipped over. Come on. Flippy, flippy. That might have worked. That's got it on a side that I might be able to grab. Ha! It did work. So I need to figure out a good way to store this thing. Because apparently storing it in a place where it can get all jostled around is not a good thing. Apparently. I still don't really have a good spot for it though, so we're gonna... I don't know, we'll leave it on here for now. We'll leave it on here. Alright, so Worker Man's gonna do that thing. I'm gonna go back and work on the bales a little bit. Come on. There we go. Alright, and as exciting and thrilling as this process is, and I'm sure you guys would love to continue seeing this part, I'm actually going to end my stream here. It's a little bit late, and I do need to actually go in early tomorrow, so yeah, sleep, I guess. Oh, hey Chris Foxy, thank you for that follow. Unfortunately, you're catching me at the end of my stream here, but I do appreciate it nonetheless. So yeah, we got some stuff done today. Mostly it was spent farting around in this damn grass field, so I'm gonna try to avoid doing these in the future because that's a bad thing. Got trees planted, got 2 of our crops in the process of being harvested. All is going well. Everything is right in the world. So thank y'all for coming. Thanks for any subs and follows that I might have missed. And I'll see y'all next time. Bye bye.